Ahead and get started. So good evening, everyone. My name is Flo. I am so grateful that you all are joining us this evening for UNC Asheville's Q&A session with the Department of Student Transitions Parent Programs. As I said, my name is Flo. I am the admissions counselor here at UNC Asheville, precisely serving students from the Triangle region of North Carolina, including the out-of-state areas of West Virginia and Delaware. I do want to remind our audience that this is a webinar, so we cannot see or hear you. If you have any questions during the panel, I encourage you to please type them in the Q&A box, and we will answer those along the way. I myself graduated from UNC Asheville Sociology and Teaching Licensure programs, so it's always great to offer new Bulldogs more insight on the programs we have to ensure a smooth transition onto our campus. This evening, we have Sarah Smith and Abby Genter with us directly from the Student Transitions Department. Let's have the panelists introduce themselves. Sarah, would you start us off?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Smith. I use she, her pronouns. I am the director for the Office of Student Transitions and Family Programs. I've been here at UNC Asheville for a little over 3.5 years, working with orientation and families as we welcome you all to the institution. And we're excited to have you here.
Hi all, my name is Abby Genter. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Assistant Director of Student Transitions and Family Programs. I'm a little bit newer to the university. I think about 6 months now I've been here, but I'm really excited for the summer orientation, and I'm taking the lead on pre-orientation, so I can answer all of those questions if you have any questions about that as well.
Fantastic. All right, so I do encourage everyone, as we just mentioned in the chat, to type any questions you may have regarding transitioning to UNC Asheville, what to expect as an incoming freshman. And as incoming freshmen, you may wonder what your first semester may look like at UNC Asheville. And so we're here to kind of paint a picture of that. So do let us know how we can advise and answer any of those questions. So again, feel free to use that Q&A box that we've got there. As those questions are coming in, we do have a series of questions submitted by you all ahead of tonight. And so we'll begin with those questions, and we'd definitely be glad to hear or answer more of what we have not seen from you all just yet. All right, to kick us off, our first question is, what do we need to bring and where exactly will students stay? So I guess this is a combination of more of a housing question, but also what kind of materials students should bring as an incoming freshman.
Sure. So I want to give some context too about our Embark Orientation program before, and then I'll answer the question. So incoming students will attend Embark Orientation. Embark is what we call our orientation program. It's 2 phases. So you will come in June for a 2-day program if you're an incoming first-year student. If you are an incoming transfer student, you come for a 1-day program in June. You'll get to stay overnight in the residence halls, kind of experience what a day in the life of being a student at UNC Asheville is like. We will make sure you understand everything you need to do from June to August, and then we will let you go home, enjoy your summer, and then you'll move in August, which we can talk about in a little bit, for a 4-day orientation program from August 11th through the 14th before classes begin. So then you'll be with the entire first-year class. You'll get to meet all of your fellow students. We'll talk more about nuts and bolts of how you can be successful in your classes, and then kind of get you started and kind of let you immerse yourself into campus before classes officially start. So for the 2-day orientation program that happens in June, you'll be staying in one of our residence halls, which is Founders Hall, which is primarily first-year students. A lot of first-year students end up choosing into that residence hall when they're going through housing selection in July. You will stay with another student. You'll get to see what some of the residence halls look like. And in terms of what you need to bring, I will put this link in the chat for everyone, but we updated our website yesterday with some of the items you need to bring. Make sure that you bring bedding, whether it's a sleeping bag or sheets to stay overnight. clothes, comfortable clothes for walking around, tennis shoes, something comfortable in terms of shoes. I always recommend that you bring a rain jacket because it can rain sometimes in the mountains of North Carolina in the summer. We usually get a summer afternoon shower. But then we'll have pens, we'll have paper for you to take notes if you need to. We'll have other kind of documents and giveaways to give you to help you kind of be successful over the next couple of days. Any kind of toiletries, pajamas, change of clothes for the next day. And then you will have, like I said, we'll give you an orientation packet with everything that you need. So really just basic essentials to get you through the overnight stay, anything that will help you to feel comfortable. We will have some time at night. So if you're a musician and you want to bring your instruments to like hang out and jam out with people, you can feel free to do that. If there's games you like to play, we'll have some opportunities for you to just hang out with some of your fellow classmates. So that's what I would recommend bringing.
Awesome. I did just add in the chat the link to our housing website for approved and prohibited items. So it's a really good opportunity for you to check out that site and see a really good concise list of what will be in your room, what you should bring, and what you should not bring. So Sarah did an amazing job, summarizing all of that. I think every student should know that UNC Asheville's residence halls are well equipped with the basics, your single bed, your study desk with a chair, dresser, shower curtains within your showers. We have no communal hall bathrooms, so you won't have to worry about sharing a hall with the entire, sharing a bathroom with the entire hall. And so things that you'll need will be there. You'll just need to bring your own stuff like toilet paper and whatnot. So this kind of answers that question in terms of what will life be like in August when you do move in. So orientation covers a lot of what we just said with Sarah, but moving in August, you'll have to bring on that extra stuff. All right, next question. So our next question is kind of more so about what we can bring, but again, take a look at that link. What does registration for when does registration for Embark open?
It will open hopefully tomorrow. So you will be emailed once it does open, and we'll make sure that we add the links to our website, and then it will go on the housing or your portal, I believe, as a deposited student once it is open. So we have gotten those kind of set up and built out, and so they will open. So I did see a question. Embark is required. Both the June Embark and the August Embark are required for all incoming students. So, and then I did see a question too. If you are a transfer student, you do not stay overnight in the residence halls during the June Embark. If you're staying on campus in August, you'll move into your residence hall that you selected, and you'll participate in Embark after that. But yes, Embark is required, so you will need to sign up. Those spots, every spot, like every session will open up, and when they fill up, they fill up. So if you are feeling more limited about the dates that you can come to Embark, which are on our website, please make sure that you're signing up sooner rather than later to maximize your chances of getting into the slot that you want. So we cap our sessions at no more than 200 people. So we try to keep them small so that when you're in small groups with our orientation mentors, you're really able to get to know some of your fellow classmates. We try to keep those small groups with less than 20 people in your small group. So you'll have an orientation mentor that will kind of help lead and guide you through those experiences.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Abby. I was actually about to do that. So in the chat box, you'll be able to look at the Embark dates that you can register for. Again, you'll be there for 2 days. And so you can choose which dates you can do for the month of June, but everyone will join August 10th. We'll move in August 10th for ahead of time for that August Embark. All right. And so our next question does have to do with when does freshmen have to be on campus? So we just mentioned August 10th is that date. Do any of you know if the students can move in earlier than that? Say there's like a conflict with family working and they can only move in August 9th. And what happens if they can only move in August 11th, like the day after?
Abby, do you want to talk about pre-orientation programs as an option to move in early?
Yeah, sure, I can talk about that. So pre-orientation programs, these are our optional programs that students can do before our August Embark. So that would be August 6th through the 10th. So that would, your move-in day would be on a Saturday, which is really nice. It's a Saturday, August 6th. And these optional programs, so we have what we call urban programs, and then Campus Rec runs the outdoor pre-orientation programs. So you have kind of different options. If you're more outdoorsy, if you like camping and hiking and everything, Campus Rec runs those. And our programs are based on different topics. So we will have one focused on art, music, community service, and then like a sampler program if you don't have a specific topic interest. So yeah, those are all optional, and that registration will open May 1st. So keep an eye out for that. That's a good option if you need to move in earlier, if you'd prefer to move in Saturday instead of Wednesday when everyone else will be moving in. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And so our next question does ask about resources for out-of-state students. So overall, once a student is transitioning into life as a freshman, first semester, what kind of resources are there for students coming from out of state?
I think our office is always a primary resource for any student, no matter where you're transitioning from, whether it's from year to year, from on campus to off campus. As an incoming student, know that we are always available to kind of help direct you and guide you. I think in terms of out-of-state students, I think it depends on what you are looking for. We're hoping to build in some time during Embark in August, hopefully create some shuttles that can go back and forth to grocery stores or to Target and Walmart to allow people to get any last minute necessities or things that you maybe forgotten, or once you've lived in your room for a couple of days, you realize like, oh, I'd really like some curtains for my windows, or I need a shower caddy or something like that, to allow you those opportunities to do that. We do have shuttles that run throughout campus and then to some of the grocery stores. So if you're from out of state, maybe don't have family close by, or aren't able to bring a car on campus, know that those are available for you. But in terms of just students transitioning to the university, Embark is a great way to kind of help get you set up for success. And then you will have first year seminar classes, which will allow you to get to know faculty on a more deeper level and talk about how to transition and some of the things that may continue to come up throughout your first year. And then there are tons of activities that happen throughout the semester to help you get involved, stay busy, stay engaged. As you're an out-of-state student, maybe you can't go home as much, or are looking for other ways to feel connected to the university. And I also think that, we're really close to Asheville, which is really cool. And there's a lot of perks of being able, about a mile from downtown, so you can spend time in the downtown part and get to feel connected to the Asheville community too.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's go back a little bit. We have a couple questions about the June Embark cost and dates and whatnot. And so we do have from Jordan, the June Embark cost. I know that's actually shared on the website, but the question is, can parents come as well? Would you mind diving deeper into that?
Sure. So the cost to attend Embark for students is $150. That kind of covers all of the materials that you will receive, the staffing for the event, any kind of space that we are using on campus. That $150 fee is charged to your fall tuition bill. So it's not something that you have to pay before you come. It's built into that. Families, we have an optional program. So we recognize not every family is able to attend Embark. So we don't build in the family fee into that $150 fee. It is something that when you register, your student will register, and there will be a link at the bottom of the registration form that will take you to the Family Embark registration site. So it's an Eventbrite site that will allow you to register for the session that corresponds with the session your student is planning on attending. And then you'll be able to pay for that there. So it's $50 per family member for anybody 18 and older. If you have a sibling or a child that needs to attend, we have some discounted rates, knowing that they're probably not going to need all the supplies or want all of the supplies that other parents or family members are going to get. So it's $25, or then it's free if it's a child 11 or younger.
Great. And what time of day does Embark usually begin? A family is trying to decide whether it's better to drive prior to the day or just an early start.
Sure. We'll get started around 10 with our formal programming. We'll have check-in that will take place earlier in the morning, so that if you're a couple of hours away, you can drive up that morning. And then or you're welcome on our website and on other parts of the UNC Asheville website. We have links to hotels that we partner with that offer friends and family discount, that those may be available if there are dates available during the time that you're coming. And then we will end Embark around 2 or 3 the next afternoon to give people time to hopefully beat some of the rush hour traffic as you're traveling back to your respective homes.
Awesome. And regarding the most recent question about Embark being mandatory and a conflict possibly in that week of June 24th. Again, if you take a look at the website that we have, you'll be able to see some of the dates there. Again, since there are 2 days, there's a June 13th and June 14th option, 16th through the 17th, 20th through the 21st, and then 23rd and 24th. So your student can do the 13th or 14th, that part of June, and still not have that conflict there, but definitely communicate with us. We'd be willing to work with students and families regarding.
For sure. And we realize that some families may not come. We'll plan a makeup date sometime in July, and that will probably be a virtual session for families that maybe can't make it out of state. Obviously, we want as many families to attend in person as possible, to give students an opportunity to meet fellow students, maybe find people that they potentially want to room with for the fall or the spring semester, and then just be able to kind of get your feet and get your bearings to campus. But we also know that there are conflicts that come up, and we'll try to create a virtual space to be more accessible, knowing that we've learned how to do this virtual environment well. So we'll offer that too if you truly can't make it, but just communicate with us and we'll figure out what that date looks like, depending on what some of the other things happening during the summer are looking like, and connect you that way.
Fantastic. Sarah, do you know if there is a fee charged for moving in early? So in the month of August?
Not that I am aware of. Again, if you're participating in the pre-orientation programs, that has a fee added to that, but that's for the entire program and not necessarily to move in early.
Right. Yeah. And we are hosting the second housing and dining Q&A session in a couple of weeks. And so we definitely encourage you to visit us there, as we'll be able to dive deeper into some of the questions we have regarding moving in early, roommate selection, room selections, and choosing for roommates. Since we're on that topic, we did have a student ask about, how will roommates be selected? And again, we'll be able to answer that and dive deeper into that. But if you simply just register for housing, once you fill out that profile questionnaire, I think our system does a really good job at pairing students accordingly. And I say that as somebody who used that system and was well paired with my roommate as a freshman at UNC Asheville. So yeah, definitely use that profile questionnaire at the housing application and join us for that second housing and dining Q&A session. All right. And again, as you have further questions about transitioning to college, please type them in the chat and we'll answer them for you. We do have a question slightly related to housing. There's a list available on the website of recommended supplies. Is this list accurate? If it is, are fish tanks 10 gallons or less allowed in the residence halls?
Yeah, I just checked that out a little bit earlier. It is updated and they are allowed. 10 gallons is the max that you can have. So if it's 10 gallons or less, then yes, it's allowed.
Yeah, and I'd certainly say in terms of the recommended supplies, bring what you believe you'll end up using, so we give general, recommendations, but everything is definitely relevant. So definitely consider what that you might use as a student.
And I would also recommend you don't have to bring your entire life with you for the entire year. So if you know that you're going to come home like in Labor Day or fall break, like pack for what you know that you'll need then. Again, live and kind of see what you need, what you don't need, and then you can bring more stuff back. But I think that there sometimes feels like a pressure of like, I have to bring everything, and you'll be able to have time over break to come back, regroup, and figure out what you want and what you miss or what you really need. So don't feel that pressure of having to bring everything, because you're going to need and want to buy or acquire more stuff or bring stuff back from home.
Mm-hmm. That was definitely a lesson learned for me, because I am one who wants to have everything just in case. And, as from freshman year through senior year, the amount of things you're going to bring are going to significantly die down, because you're going to realize that this is way too much stuff to pack in a car and unload and reload every year. So definitely pack what you need, what you'll use, and pace yourself is definitely an advice I'd give. All right. Okay. So our next question asks a little bit about family weekend. And so when do you know what those dates will be? I think I tried to look on the website, and I'm not sure if the family weekend dates have been selected just yet.
No, they have not been selected just yet. We want to confirm with athletics schedule to make sure that they have some of those events that are happening, and see how we can partner with those campus partners before selecting that date. But we typically, just for kind of context, we usually plan it to be around the 16th or 7th, the weekend of the 16th, like the middle of September. So a couple of weeks after Labor Day, a couple of weeks before fall break. So we realize that October is prime time in Asheville. So we try to make sure that we are getting family weekend in sometime in September, so that hotel rates aren't as expensive, but you're still getting to see fall in Asheville. So plan on like middle September, but we'll have that date confirmed by Embark to be sure to let you all know that.
All righty. I see we've got a couple more housing questions coming in. Again, everyone, I definitely encourage you to join us for that second housing and dining Q&A, and we'll be able to dive deeper into what you're allowed to bring. My understanding regarding candles is that we are not allowed to have open flames, or open burners or anything like that. And so that might be something that you can actually find an answer to on our website. There's a frequently asked question forum there. Same thing regarding the emotional support animal. Not sure about the dates. Abby, Sarah, do you know if there are any dates that they should have those information sent in if they're planning to bring the?
Yeah, I would recommend checking out the academic accessibility office, like the website. I know you have to submit everything by June 1st. I don't know like the details or where you find the forms, but academic accessibility can help with all of that.
Yes, and you can actually find that information on our website as well. So yeah, definitely join us for housing, as I see that a lot of students still have some curiosities about, living on campus, what you're allowed to bring, what you're allowed to have. So join us, and we'll have people specifically from the housing department there to answer those specific questions. All righty. So our next question is related to Admitted Students Day, kind of elaborating on what options will be there. Tomorrow we'll have pretty much as much as what UNC Asheville encompasses available. We'll have residence hall tours, so you'll be able to see what the dorms look like, an academic fair, a student affairs fair, so you'll be able to see our student transitions and parent programs, campus rec, financial aid, anything and everything that you need to know about like what life is as a student. That'll be available along with a student panel, an optional campus tour at the end of the day. So that's going to be optional for those who have not had a chance to tour the entire campus, but the residence halls will be tours will be available in 2 different sessions. So we know that this is the first time this semester that we're allowing families and students to view the inside of our residence halls, given that we have been in a pandemic for the last 2 years. So we're excited to offer that opportunity to students, and we hope to see you Saturday. All right. Other questions, everyone, feel free to type them in the Q&A. Additional questions about transitioning as life as an incoming freshman, and things like that. We have other questions regarding placement, testing placements. If I plan to test out of a language, how would WebCake work out during the orientation? And what would we be tested on?
So I believe that that is a web-based program. From speaking to our colleagues in the Department of Languages and Literature, you should receive an email with some information about how to access that placement test. I believe that they have that available for Spanish and French. And so you can take that, I believe, whenever you want to or able to. You don't have to wait until Embark to take it. And then if you are in a language that doesn't have that web-based placement test, there are some options available for you. So I'm pulling up an email with that information. So you can work with take a proficiency test. You can submit transcripts demonstrating that you've studied courses in that language, or other language courses like in high school or college. And then you could have a language professional. So whether it's a faculty member, a translator, assess your level of proficiency speaking. So, and then that person would submit a letter saying that, yes, they have this proficiency and whatnot. So there should be an email that's coming out with more information about placement tests, but know that if you're wanting to take Spanish or French, no, I think those are 2 of our most popular languages. You can take that at any time. And like I said, you can even take that before Embark. That's available.
Excellent. All right. And so we've got a couple questions coming in. Any idea on what time registration opens for Embark, for June Embark?
Hopefully sometime tomorrow morning, like first thing tomorrow morning. If it's not, give us a couple of hours to make sure, but then check back on your portal. It should be there.
Awesome. And so we do have a question a little bit earlier about the list that we were discussing applying to those living in apartment housing. Regarding off-campus living, those rules are not a part of the campus requirements. And so we do have on-campus apartments. And so those rules would apply to our on-campus apartments. So any off-campus living, that is subject to those housing complexes. So I hope that helps, Diana. Let us know if we can provide more clarity there. All right, next question. If freshmen are permitted to have cars on campus?
Yes, they are. You will be able to sign up for a parking permit in July. This year, I know that they have some specific first-year student parking lots available. I think that may change, or the parking lots may change next year as we have more parking available for students. But I would say the first year lots right now are less than a half a mile from most of the residence halls for first year students. So it's easy to walk there to get your car if you need to get it. And then the shuttles also run like to those parking lots too. So I don't think it's necessary to have your car. Like I said, everything is here, or the shuttles can run pretty close to get you to CVS or to the grocery stores if you need them. But if you know that that is something that you want to have, that will be available for you.
Right. And my freshman year, freshmen were not allowed to have cars on campus. And I survived just fine. I had no desire or need. And I was coming from Durham, so 3.5-hour drive. So I did not care to do that drive anyway. But yeah, as everything is nearby the campus, 15 to 20 minutes of a walk from downtown, and everything within the Merriman Avenue area is just about 2 minutes from campus. And as Sarah mentioned, our shuttle services take you to the grocery stores, the pharmacies. They've taken me to pick up my Chick-fil-A and my Chinese food. So there's definitely everything you could ever need in terms of transportation there. Our city buses as well take you to the further areas beyond our campus, such as downtown Asheville and other parts of Asheville at no additional cost. You just get on and show them your student ID and you are ready to go. So while freshmen are allowed to have cars and there is a specific freshman parking lot, if you do not feel the need to bring your car or don't want to bring a car or don't have one to bring, you'll survive just fine. All righty. So our next question asks, what does freshman year look like for an early college student?
I would say it's pretty similar to our transfer students. Really, I think the main difference is that you're bringing in credits, so you might not need some of those other classes like your gen ed classes. But otherwise, it is pretty similar to a traditional college student. You're still getting to know the university, you're still making friends, still joining clubs, still kind of finding your community at UNCA. Really, the main difference is that you have some of those credits under your belt and kind of out of the way, so you can maybe focus on some classes that you're more interested than the general requirements.
Yeah, I think the academic portion is really what distinguishes an early college student from, a first year student who does not have any incoming courses to bring in. But overall, I think student life on campus is very vibrant. And, becoming successful at the college level is all about your level of engagement. And research shows the most successful students are typically those who are actively engaged in the community. And so we have a variety of events happening. Some of the ones that are notable for the first semester of the year are yoga on the quad, it's like the Gloga event. And so that was a very fun event to go to as an incoming freshman. We have bingo nights. And so that's another event to make friends, but also just get engaged. And I loved just seeing how the entire campus comes together for just a good game of bingo night. And mind you, it's not just bingo night, everyone. It is winning realistic college student prizes. People walk away with baskets of toilet paper, paper towels, laundry detergent, everything you could need, even snacks like brownies and just everything. And it's not just one item, it's a basket of stuff, So bingo night was not a joke for me. I won a Bulldog blanket once. I won Charmin toilet paper. We're not giving you the cheap stuff, y'all. So definitely come out for those kinds of events that we have as you're transitioning into your freshman year, into the semester. We've got karaoke nights, movie nights. I loved movie night, free popcorn, free snacks, So those events are put on specifically for students to, really join the community. Highsmith After Dark. So that's an event that typically goes, after dark through midnight. I won a necklace I still wear today from that event, and it was just about intuition, being a tarot reader, all those types of things. So I can go on and on about my experience as a student as an incoming freshman, and I'm getting a little bit nostalgic, so I'll stop here. But overall, just remember that as you're transitioning into your first semester or first year as a college student, it's very important that you get out and you participate in events happening on campus.
Absolutely. So, and that's our hope, that both June and August Embark will give you opportunities to learn how to grow and how to thrive as a student, both as a person and as a part of the UNC Asheville community, how you can get involved, how can you apply for on-campus jobs, how can you learn about other clubs and organizations on campus, how can you work out and stay healthy. We want all of those things to be able for you to just learn about them and then also just experience them. So that's really what we hope to accomplish during Embark. And we have student orientation mentors that will be there. And like I said, we'll lead small groups with you. A lot of them, I think a few of them are early college students or have some early college credits, so they can answer those questions about navigating that role of coming in with classes and maybe being a junior status, but still being a first year student here at UNC Asheville. So those students really have a lot of information. They want to be helpful. They want to answer your questions. They want to build those relationships with you. So take advantage of the time that you have with them to ask whatever questions you might have, share whatever worries you have, and we want to make sure that we're providing opportunities for you to feel comfortable and that you feel like you belong on this campus, and that you leave Embark knowing I made the right decision. I'm so excited to come back in August. This is going to be the best 4 years of my life.
Absolutely. And if it was not clear before, orientation, Embark, and June is typically where students find their roommates. And so that's exactly why roommate selection is in the month of July. So if you haven't filled out the housing application yet, or if you have already done that, you'll notice that you just simply filled out a profile questionnaire. But it's really in June when you meet other incoming freshmen like yourself that you spend 2 days together, almost 48 hours. And so by then, a lot of students walk away with people who, they feel comfortable with becoming roommates with or suite mates with. Maybe you're like, this person's cool. I already have a roommate, but I'd like to have you as my suite mate. So you can pull each other in if you know each other's one card numbers in the month of July. So kind of consider that if you're still kind of wondering, how do I find a roommate? It's that June Embark session that really offers that. All right. So our next question, I'm going to answer it a little bit. It does have to do again with the language proficiency stuff and specifically for native speakers. So in terms of the orientation period, you won't have to worry about that then. It's very simple. As Sarah mentioned, once you get onto campus your first semester, you can just send an email to the language department of the respective language that you're trying to demonstrate proficiency in. And they'll schedule you for a placement test. It's very quick, very simple. You'll go and take the test and you'll find out right then and there whether you have demonstrated proficiency and can test out of that intro language, foreign language course, or you have not demonstrated proficiency and will have to take that intro level. So I'm saying that because I did it myself. I did not test out of French, but it was definitely an effort on my part. So I hope that helps, Diana. All righty. So as we're getting to the end of our session here, I do want to encourage you guys to drop in any final questions or comments that you might have about incoming life as a student. I can talk a little bit about our LLCs. When we kind of talked about student life and stuff like that, living learning communities are also another great way to feel a part of the community. They really do help students transitioning in. We have one specifically for transfer students. It's called the Transfer LLC. And so essentially these living learning communities are living in a building on the same side of a hall as other students that are a part of that program. I personally participated in one called Thrive my freshman year, and these are no additional charge. So if you've already filled out your housing application, you might have already been presented with this opportunity. If you have not filled out your housing application, it's going to ask you if you want to participate in that. It's no additional charge. It's completely optional. And I personally did it because I wanted to find ways to make friends and be a part of a community. And so My Thrive LLC showed us how to engage in yoga, meditation, exercises, healthy living. We hiked together, did some rope courses, we cooked together, did late night lavender meditations. And so there's just a bunch of random things that you do, some that are academic focused. So there's an engineering LLC, the Cloud LLC for atmospheric science and computer science majors. And then there's one for community engagement and social justice. And there's one for first generation college students. So it's all optional, kind of thinking, again, more opportunities for you to think about in terms of transitioning into life as a college student. All right. So it seems that we are all clear here. We'll stay back here for any additional questions or concerns that come up. But we're so grateful that you joined us all this evening. Be sure to join us for the housing and dining Q&A session happening in a couple of weeks. I'm going to pull up the date that is happening because I do know that we have a lot of students really interested with more questions about that. So let me get that date and time for you guys. Okay, Wednesday, April 27th. Amazing. Yes, so please join us Wednesday, April 27th at the same time, 7 p.m. To answer all of your specific housing and dining questions, roommate selections, what you can bring and what you cannot bring, because we'll have the people directly from the housing department. So yeah, I think we've got another question that just came in about signing up for classes and who could you ask. And so again, thank you all for joining us. I'm going to answer that question. And if you have other additional questions, I'll stay here to answer those, including this class registration one. Class registration does open up April 18th. For incoming freshmen. We have advisors on deck to advise you and guide you along the way. Definitely reach out to your admissions counselor, as we are here to also support you. I've been doing one-on-one sessions with my students to kind of show you your OnePort portal, grad plan. It's an amazing resource you will be using until the day you graduate from UNC Asheville. It shows you what your intended major is, the courses that you'll need for that major, the minor, any certificates or licensures you plan to add. It shows you everything on that one page, and it's on OnePort. And just click academic links and then drop down to grad plan. So that'll show you the courses that you need, but registering for classes, we have advisors on board. So just reach out to us and you'll get some support there. But you don't have to really do much reaching out because we are sending you the communication when the time comes. So April 18th, you'll get prompting emails to do that. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. We certainly hope to see you again April for the next coming Q&A sessions that are happening in the rest of the month of April.